Lengthy litigation and a seemingly unilateral decision by the US Justice Department saw blueprints for 3D printable guns made briefly available on the web. And in the short time they were online, it's thought the files were downloaded thousands of times. On Wednesday, a Texas-based gun rights group published blueprints for 3D printable guns openly online. But 8 states went to court, and a Seattle judge then ordered the plans be taken down. The battle's not over, though, with the man behind the blueprints comparing his mission to anti-establishment activism like WikiLeaks.
You could call us digital radicals. We believe that the internet will perfectly preserve the Second Amendment and help to be its expansion. What is WikiLeaks for guns? This was our idea, our kind of seed, like our immediate purpose, like, wow, could we be WikiLeaks for guns? What would that look like? We found a 3D printer. We said, what if you could 3D print a gun and then share the file on the internet? That would be like WikiLeaks.
Cody Wilson, who you just saw there, started his quest back in 2013 when he first developed a weapon that could be printed at home. Until recently, the federal government, especially the State Department, made sure those blueprints did not make it onto the web. But earlier this year, the Justice Department decided to drop litigation against 3D gun plans from being posted online, putting it at odds with the State Department.
The reason that the State Department got involved, our only equity in this, is because of our role in controlling foreign access to U.S. defense technology. In simpler words, the State Department wants to prevent the wrong people from acquiring weapons overseas.
Well, it is an extraordinary story, so we need an extraordinary man to put some meat on the bones of it, and we have got one. Legal analyst and commentator Lionel, welcome back. Lionel, does it surprise you that these two key departments of government aren't even on the same page on such, well, let's call it as it is, an emotive issue, guns for the American people? Has that happened before, even?
Happens all the time, and no, it does not surprise me. And what will perhaps surprise you, or shouldn't, is that there has always been provision on the internet for blueprints to make plastic guns via 3D printing. Let me repeat, it's always been there. It's nothing new. So what do you ask is the source of this brouhaha? Next, Trump is doing nothing new. It's already been there. There is also a First Amendment right to the dissemination of information. Now, the only thing which is on the books today, and I don't want to go too much, but as a lawyer, I can tell you, as a former prosecutor, it gets a little sticky when we talk about that which is sent overseas, which really doesn't apply here. And also, it deals with, there is a law that prohibits undetectable guns that cannot be picked up through conventional, say, airport types of detection devices. That being said, gunsmithing, there is a right that I have to make a gun. Now, whether I sell it, distribute it, that's a different story. That's not in here. Let me give you another little bit of a reference. In 1971, in this country, there was a famous anarchist cookbook. The anarchist cookbook told people how to make potions and how to poisons, how to kill people. And it was information that was gleaned and collated from army manuals, information that was already made available. The issue that our courts have dealt with is if I provide information to you, or data, or a thought, or a passage, or a song, or instructions. The same thing with, we used to have rules or instructions on how to make a nuclear bomb. You find the fissile material, great. And if you think you're going to go home and plug one of these things to your HP 3D computer, or that Al-Qaeda is going to mass produce plastic guns, I mean, none of this makes any sense. But sense has nothing to do with it. It's all, as you say, emotive and emotion.
Let me just pick up on something you said there. Donald Trump's spokesperson said on Wednesday that the Justice Department went ahead without the president's approval. How can something like this get past his desk without needing signing off?
We have right now a Department of Justice and its subsidiary, the FBI, that is acting completely independent of the president and is in a parallel universe. There are what is referred to, oftentimes some may say too much, is this thing called the deep state. Now, I'm not suggesting that's here, but this dissociation, this schizoid connection between the president and the Department of Justice is typical. But what this is if you read the Attorney General for Massachusetts, who you would think would know about the law, it seems that right now the message of this is that Donald Trump, because of this crazed Donald Trump, that we're going to have plastic guns, and nobody knows anything about what is a gun, the federal definition of what a gun is, the laws that are already here. This is complete hysteria, not based in fact or reality.
Just briefly putting your legal hat on again, Lionel, now that these blueprints have been on the web, albeit briefly, in reality, they're out there, aren't they? So isn't the protracted court battle a waste of time?
Absolutely, it's moot. Let me also repeat, they've been on there. I implore anybody, go online and Google how the blueprints for a plastic gun. And also, remember, you can say, go online and say, all right, I don't want a gun, which is defined as something which is capable of expelling a projectile through an explosive. That's all a gun is under federal law. But I can go and say, let me make a facsimile, a harmless plastic gun. And then the second blueprint is, how do I convert that? That's there as well. I have been able to. Before the Republic, this grand Republic, we have been making guns, weapons. It is protected speech. And moreover, extracting it, the mere information, the data, not the dissemination of the gun. Think about this, the implications of free speech. It's not the gun that I'm providing, it's the information. How does one do it? If I write a book about how people fashion knives in prisons, a real-life Shawshank Redemption, emphasis on the word shank, am I telling people how to do this?
Lionel, legal analyst and political commentator, we always appreciate your time. Thank you.